Almost everything the international left has said about Israel over the last 100 years is not only categorically wrong, it's also dangerous. So yes, the main villains here are the Hamas terrorists who came in and committed rape and genocide and murder, and the people who supported them cheering it on. I do not want to forget another huge villain of this story, which is the people set up to just blindly type, I just want to protect innocent civilian life. I don't want anyone to die. Just lazy, childish thinking. War is bad and I am good. You and your moral equivalencies and your laziness are hurting people for your own self-righteousness. Just empty self-righteousness. You are the bad guys too. You are absolutely the bad guys. You are not morally superior to anyone. You are adopting the mentality of a child and leveraging that against other people. Now, I'm not saying there are no innocent civilians in Gaza who deserve life and liberty and pursuit of happiness. That's not what I'm saying. But when we talk about Hamas and we talk about Gaza and we talk about the Palestinian people, there is a large contingent of them that openly support genocidal war against all Jewish people everywhere. This is Hamas's charter. In Hamas's charter, they are very open. They want a genocide of the entire Jewish population in Israel, outside of Israel, and then once they have destroyed Israel for its sake of being Jewish and they are Muslim, according to them in their charter, they then will expand this to Christians and other non-believers, Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, whatever. Global jihad war. That's what they want, and a lot of people support that for that reason. Now, a lot of people support that because they're ignorant and don't want to believe what Hamas is saying and just hold on to some anti-Semitic, anti-Israel impulses, this whole I'm so intelligent, blah, 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 blah. I can really decipher what the people are saying in a way that is not what they're saying, that only I can retranslate or whatever it is. So a big thing, and you see a lot of left-wing people say this, or people who want to say the conflict. I mean, I saw an Abba and Preach video where they rightfully called out the bad actors on both sides, and I'm there for that. But they also pushed every single narrative lie the left has pushed for years, right? One of the ways they justified what happened, and they sort of gave a justification for genocide, is, hey, settlements, right? Israel's just, there are Jews, and they're choosing to live where they want to live, and, all these uppity Jews choosing to live in land that we don't want them to, that's a reason for genocide. Of course. I mean, why not? I mean, imagine you live anywhere in the world. Like, imagine you're in Toronto, and 3 blocks away from you, a Jewish family just lives there, buys a home and lives there. Of course that's an excuse to kill them all. Of course, right? Why wouldn't it be? And this is essentially a settlements argument. But not only is it a morally deranged argument, a vapid, evil argument, it's also wrong when it comes to Gaza. In 2005, Gaza was made Judenrein. It's the Nazi term for free of Jews. Israel did this. Israel moved every single Jew from the Gaza Strip. Historically, first time since Jews have been Jews. Judenrein, no Jews in that area. Did it make them happier? No, they took all the infrastructure, burned it down. Then they elected Hamas. Hamas ran on a platform of global jihad, an annihilation of the Jewish people globally, and then to take the jihad onwards. They're still supported by over 50% of the population. And you go, no, it's not just support of Hamas, it's more of an anti-Israel thing, it's resistance, it's blah, 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 it's blah, blah, blah. It's Palestinian leadership and the Arab leadership that started the war in 1948. Israel offered peace. There's been a peace deal on the table for 78 years. You want peace, you want a two-state solution, sign a peace deal. That's why, there's a war coming. Yes, there's a war coming, and Israel's going to fight it. Do you not want the war to come? Leverage the Palestinian leadership into signing a peace deal, instead of excusing their genocidal ideology globally. That's what you can do as a lefty right now. Again, there are no Jews in Gaza. So this whole argument that people are making, that the reason Palestinians are so upset and are justified in rape and murder and slaughter is there's Jews living near them. How dare they? I mean, how dare Jews go to live in Judea? Hebron, this is when we'll go to the West Bank, Judea. The birthplace of the mothers and fathers, the tombs of the mothers and fathers of Judaism, Rachel, Jacob, Isaac, mothers and fathers, first Jews, Abrahamic Jews. They're buried there. The United Nations says it's a war crime if Jews want to live there. A city that was ethnically cleansed in a pogrom in 1929 by the Arabs. An anti-Semitic riot pushed Jews out. They came back in 1967. This is a war crime against humanity. This is an insult to the Ummah. That's what the left would say. excuses them. Right? It's so lazy thinking, and I know what it is. You just want to think things are complicated. And because you have deciphered them being complicated and you can give two sides to something, you think you're smart. I know this. I've talked to you. I went to university. Within 20 minutes, I learned the entire ideology of this nonsense. It's not hard. You're not smart. It's just finding a way to make moral ambiguities and talk yourself into knots. Yeah, the more you spend at these universities, the higher level terminology you can use to stop thinking. But you're still not thinking. So this was the great justification, the big one, the settlements, Jews living places. I know. No other people we would have. Actually, maybe Kashmiri pundits. Them. I've seen the same thing now being used, that Hindus wanting to live in the Kashmir Valley like they have for 5,000 years. This instigates genocidal ideology, that this excuses a genocide. So I have seen this used against other people. And again, who is mainlining this ideology? It's the universities. It's the international left, who've been wrong about everything. Land for peace, diplomacy, trying to give things back after the 1967 war. Right, trying to bring the Palestinians back into the West Bank to show that we were in good faith negotiating to get them a two-state solution that completely fell apart because the Arab countries released the 3 no's in Khartoum. All the Arab countries met in Khartoum in 1967 after losing the war, when offered everything back in exchange for peace. 3 no's. No peace, no recognition, no negotiation. Outright war to genocide by the entire Arab countries. So listen, if there's a Palestinian here who wants to explain about human rights and what their family went through, I will listen to a Palestinian. I will listen to a Palestinian. I will. I will not listen to a Lebanese person. Not at all. You're all garbage. I don't believe any of you care about Palestinians. Palestinians have been locked in friggin' refugee camps. They don't have full rights in your country. Qataris? You keep Palestinians treated as pseudo-slaves. Treat them like garbage. Syrians? Bashar al-Assad killed more Palestinians than the Israelis have in Yarmouk. I'm not listening to you. Jordan? Remember how Israel and Jordan got peace? It's because you created the PLO and they started killing your people. So Black September, you had to get rid of the Palestinians, send them to Lebanon. Pakistan, hey, didn't you have a part in Black September too? All these countries that claim to care about the Ummah and the great persecution and Islamophobia that is happening to Palestinians, all of you can go to hell. I will not listen to what a Lebanese person has to say about this. I will not listen to what a Pakistani person has to say about this. A Jordanian, a Syrian, a Saudi. None of it. None of your people have ever treated the Palestinians with any human dignity. You've kept them poor, angry, depressed, malfunded, overfunded, terrorist-funded. It's all on you. You created this as a political weapon. There's a reason why Egypt, I'm going to listen to the Egyptians, they're concrete reinforcing the border. They don't want the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas supporters running around their country. They know what they've created. They remember what they did, despite the lies of Sisi, these lies that Jews and Arabs got along before Israel. That's an abject lie. Historical revisionism. Pushed through, the academic West. Again, another place the liberals have a hand in. Not talking about dhimmi status Jews, the fact that the Jewish yellow star that Hitler adapted to was from Yemen. He got it from Yemen, how Yemen treated their Jews. That's how Hitler got the yellow Jewish star for the Nazis. Haj Amin al-Husseini, Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, literal Nazi, friends with Adolf Hitler, talked about wanting to build a death camp in Jerusalem. After he toured the death camps in Europe, he went to the death camps in Europe, saw what they were, was so excited, wanted to build one in Jerusalem. He helped raise hundreds of thousands of soldiers to the SS in Bosnia, Muslim soldiers. He's an official Nazi. He's the original, leader of the Palestinian people? And ignoring all of this and treating Palestinians like children, it's not helping. It doesn't help them. It doesn't bring them rights. It doesn't bring them close to what you claim to want, a two-state solution. If any of these lefties actually did care about Palestinians, treat them like human beings. Treat them like human beings. When they say they want rape, they love death, they're so happy when their children die, treat them like the people who said. Don't excuse it. Don't explain away. Don't say, well, there's a Jew nearby, so of course they're mad. You want to talk about, how did the Nazis come to power? How did they rise up? How did people do nothing? Your lazy thinking in the institutions and your need for immediate moral self-righteousness over others has enabled genocidal terrorism to spread. And it's going to spread to your hometown too. And the Islamists are very clear. It doesn't end with the Jews. it ends with your head on a spike.